The thing I missed most with gut inflammation related to C. diff and mycotoxins wasn't food, it was spontaneity. Today we'll look at how spontaneity fades, why that's not your fault, what recovery really means beyond food, and one tiny yes that you can try this week. When people hear Crohn's disease or colitis, they usually think about food. What can you eat? What can't you eat? What's triggering symptoms? What's safe? What's unsafe? And if you've lived with digestive issues for any length of time, you've probably had more conversations about food than you ever wanted to have. But here's something I've realised. In my own journey with gut inflammation related to C. diff and mycotoxins, and in conversations with clients, the thing I missed most wasn't food, it was spontaneity. One of the things chronic digestive issues slowly take away is your ability to be spontaneous. Not overnight, it usually happens gradually. You don't wake up one day and decide to stop being spontaneous. You adapt. You become more careful, more prepared, more strategic. At first that makes complete sense. You start checking menus before agreeing to dinner. You think through travel plans more carefully. You know where the bathrooms are. You have backup plans. You become incredibly organised. You have contingency plans. Those skills can all be useful. The problem is that one day you realise almost everything requires a plan. Almost nothing feels effortless anymore. So I started asking a different question. What was I actually missing? It wasn't really about food. It wasn't even just about symptoms. It was about freedom. Freedom to say yes to things, freedom to change my mind, freedom to go somewhere without running through a mental checklist first, freedom to just be present. Someone once told me, I don't miss the food, I miss not having to think about the food. That distinction really matters, because when people talk about healing, they're often talking about symptoms, but what they're really craving is ease, simplicity and trust, the ability to participate in life without constantly managing risk, the ability to trust their body again. Adaptation is intelligence. It's your brain keeping you safe. It only becomes limiting when it never turns off. In 60 seconds, I'll share one tiny yes you can try this week to feel spontaneity return. No tracking app, just a single safe experiment. So as promised, here's one tiny yes you can experiment with this week. Not a food challenge, not a new supplement, not another rule, just a simple question. At the end of your evening meal, answer yes or no to one of these. Did I keep a plan I made this morning? Did I do one thing without pre-scanning for exits or facilities? Did I have one meal or short outing that felt calmer than last week? That's it. No tracking app, no score, no perfect streak, just one yes or no. Because when people think about recovery, they often focus on symptoms. But one of the things I pay attention to is freedom. Can you trust yourself enough to keep a plan? Can you be present enough to stop scanning the environment? Can you enjoy an experience without constantly waiting for something to go wrong? Those moments matter. In fact, I'd argue they're some of the most important signs that your world is getting bigger again. And sometimes that's what progress looks like, not a dramatic breakthrough, just one small yes where there used to be a no. Recovery to me isn't just fewer symptoms, it's more life. It's the ability to participate, to make plans and believe you'll be able to keep them, to enjoy experiences without over-managing every variable. If symptoms improve but your world continues to shrink, is that really recovery? I think recovery needs to be measured differently, not only by what disappears, but by what returns. Maybe it's the first meal out without anxiety, the first trip in years, an event you attend without spending the whole time thinking about where the nearest bathroom is, or simply making plans and believing that you'll keep them. Most people aren't trying to build a perfect gut, they're trying to build a bigger life. A tiny yes for this week would be to schedule one low-stakes moment that feels safe. A calm local breakfast at a quiet hour, a short park walk right after your steadiest meal, perhaps an earlier, simpler dinner, and then notice how tomorrow morning feels. You're not proving anything, you're noticing. Does life feel one notch bigger today? If you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. Pay attention to what you miss, not just which symptoms bother you. What experiences matter to you? What freedoms are you missing out on? What parts of yourself do you want to regain? Sometimes the goal isn't getting back to who you were before. Sometimes it's creating a future where your world keeps getting bigger, one small yes at a time. And remember, fear is a low vibrational state, a low energy state, and energy is everything.